It's like hit or miss with Instagram. It's hit or miss. Let's try it again. Welcome everyone. Welcome. We're gonna get started as soon as my co-host taps in. And if you know, you know. Sometimes Instagram does not want us to be right. They do not want us to be connected because of all of this energetic
exchange.
starseed, earth angel, chosen one energy online just be throwing the whole algorithm off. So sometimes they don't want to say a lot. But we're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna make it work. Hey boo.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? I got a new background today. I wanted to be comfortable and I usually record in my kitchen. I'm like, let me go in my living room. Let me sit on my couch for a change and be comfy cozy. Let me be comfortable for a change. Because I feel like I have to like be uncomfortable when I'm in my kitchen because, you know, I don't know if somebody got to use the bathroom. I don't know if the stove going to turn on, if the cat going to be coming trying to eat. But now I feel like I am in my elements being in the living room. So
the living
space. Let's go ahead and get into it because I know the collective wants to hear this deep dive download that we have waiting for them. Hi, Mr. Let Me Lick It. All right, so if it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm Ashley Anye, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader, and I'm just here to help y'all heal. And we're healing with humor because laughter is always the best medicine. Talk to these people, B.
Yes, I am B. I am Magoon, also known as Magoon, I should say. Um, Also a healer, and however spirit leads me to help heal someone, I am going to do that. And like Ashley said, hey, we're here to help you heal. We're here to help you be your best self for what is lying ahead, what is in your present, and what has happened in the past. We're here to help you navigate that.
All that and above. And I was speaking briefly about the umbrella of toxic relationships and how many different avenues we could hit under that. It's not just toxic relationships. I mean, there's so many other bullet points that we can hit when we talk about toxicity. There's trauma bonding, there's narcissistic relationships, the empath, the overt, the covert narcissist. Like it's so many different, you know, avenues we could hit. So I thought today we would talk about damn, I just lost my train of thought. Trauma bond.
right.
Trauma bonding. And how you can figure out if you are in a trauma bond relationship or if you are, you know, mistaking it for love. If you think it's love, but it may be a trauma bond relationship. So I figured we talk about that. So do you want to get into the cards first or do you want to go right into the conversation?
Let's jump into this conversation because I think the people need to hear the conversation that will lead to the cards.
Yes. Welcome everyone, Glam Boutique. Yes. So
yes,
we are going to jump right in. Like I said, we are deep diving into something that people confuse all the time. I've even confused this from time to time to where I'm like, damn, it feels like love, it looks like love, it smells like love, but something just ain't right. God have mercy, babes.
right. Something it's not clicking with the heart space. It's not clicking.
Something is not clicking with my heart chakra. So I wish I had these tools to have helped guide me back in the day. But when you know better, you do better. So I have them now so that I can help you guys. So
Mm.
everything happens for a reason. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. Um, because some of you guys are mistaking trauma bond relationships for real love. Because they have this emotional addiction to them, this dopamine. Like it feels like you're addicted to it. And that usually is a telltale sign that it may be something that is unhealthy for you, when you're like addicted to it and you can't go without it, almost like a drug. Like it's okay to be obsessed with your partner. It's okay
Exactly.
to not want to be separated from them. It's okay to say, you know what, I want to call them and see where they are. I don't want to be apart from them. I just need to be in their presence. That's okay. But when you feel like it's a full-blown addiction, that's when you have to take a step back and ask yourself, is this healthy? Is this healthy for me? Or am I going down the road that I really will have a hard time trying to find my way back? And it's not that you can't find your way back. You can go down the wrong road as far to even where you get lost. You always have the option to turn back around and go the right way. Oh, so never think that if you've gone down the wrong road for so many years that you can't turn back around. You can. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right. If your relationship, listen up, if your relationship feels like a nonstop emotional roller coaster, one day, they're your soulmate, the next you're questioning your entire existence. That might not be love. The Wheel of Fortune card, and Bestie will testify to this, is all about cycles and trauma bonds that thrive on unpredictable highs and lows. All right. True love is stable. It's not always exciting, but it's secure. You know where you stand when you're in true love. You never have to question it. If chaos feels like home, it might not be true love. It might be your nervous system responding to what it knows. And that's why I always tell you, listen to your body. Your body always knows before your mind knows. Just like your body knows that you're sick before you know you're sick. You'll get symptoms that you're sick. That's just a symptom. And then you go for the diagnosis. So always listen to your body. Listen to your gut. Are you addicted to the makeup? Let's not be coy, okay? Coy does not become us. Let's not be
Listen.
coy. Are you addicted to the makeup? If the fights are nasty, but the makeups are nastier, baby, you may be in a trauma bond.
You might have
You
to
may
give
be
them
in a
the
trauma
example. They may need an example.
bond. Wait, you might have to get this one because I don't want to get too dirty.
So,
Go ahead.
so it kind of goes along with that. Hold on, I want you to say it again clearly for the people in the back. I'm sorry, you did just stuff your mouth.
Sorry. If the fights are nasty, but the makeup is even nastier, you might be in a trauma bond relationship. And there's one thing that comes to mind. That's why I asked you to give your example, because you already know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So I want you to give your
So
example.
so the first thing that automatically comes to my mind is that it's that nice nasty type of apology, and in a relationship it looks like, oh well, I didn't mean to throw that vase that was your mama gave you, but like I do admit that I was out of pocket for that, right? But they also say, but you just got to understand, you can't come at me like this. And all you did was you brought up something that you saw that was a flag for you, right? It was something that kind of triggered you, and they're quick to change the conversation from an adult conversation to address the issue to playing the victim, and
Right.
feeling like they're being attacked. And so that's that the apology
Yeah,
is worse than the fight, than the original fight.
right. And to add to your point, that's why I said that you guys may find yourself in a dopamine loop, like you're constantly like in a hamster wheel going around and around. If this is my example, if you fight, but you're looking forward to making up, having sex, more so worried about what exactly you guys were fighting over. And that may even be the perpetrator, the manipulator, trying to get you guys in that makeup position. And this is the reason why they're perpetuating this fight. Now, I didn't want to use that example, but that goes without saying. I mean, if you are in a situation where you look forward to making up, regardless of what you're fighting about, you're in a dopamine loop. Like you are literally like in a hamster wheel. So that's another telltale sign. All right. Like the lows feel unbearable. Like the lows are
Mm-hmm.
horrible. But them highs are like exciting to you. But it's like a temporary high, somewhat like sex. Like it's high only momentarily, and then you still go back to feeling low. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you have to differentiate between the two and know what to look for in a trauma bond relationship. And this can be platonic as well. It doesn't have to be romantic. This could be a mother, daughter. This could be a friend, um, a coworker. But this is just the basic signs that you can look for. Let's keep it going.
And I was going to say one quick thing too, and
Yeah,
also that type of behavior creates this chasing. So that's why a lot of
yeah,
people get confused with, is this person my twin flame or not? Because in the twin flame, there's that chase. But if somebody is
yeah.
constantly creating space so that they could be chased, then that's not a twin flame. They're manipulating you, and as Ashley stated, to so that there could be some sort of a dopamine type of effect. Yep.
Right. And also, and I'm gonna be short because usually I take the circuitous route when I'm trying to explain something. Please forgive me. I always take the scenic route. But you have to remember if you guys do feel like you may be in, if you guys ever feel like that you're in a twin flame connection, you have to remember that at some point you guys are evolving. There's never a decline to where you are in the same spot, the same mental space, the same stance that you were in where you started. Because if you are, that's not a twin flame connection. If you're evolving, that other person is going to eventually evolve because you guys have that energetic cord that cannot be broken. So they have no choice but to evolve. Now, it may not be at the same rate that you're evolving, but they're going to evolve. And that is a indication that you're in a twin flame connection because you're evolving and they're slowly but surely evolving as well. But if they're the same person they were when you met them and you're declining as well, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and physically, that's not a twin flame dynamic. That's a trauma bond or fake love or narcissistic relationship. The list, the verbiage goes on and on. I mean, you can call it a plethora of things. Okay, but we're just talking about trauma bonds tonight. Okay, that's not love. That's
Mm-mm.
withdraw and reward. Like they withdraw and reward you with sex, basically. Okay, and if you feel empty when they're not around, you have to ask yourself: do you really love them? Do you love yourself enough to recognize these signs to see that this connection is not benefiting you, not spiritually, not emotionally, and certainly not mentally. And you could just be addicted to the cycle. And a lot of people won't realize that until they're in it, uh, knee deep, and they're trying to get out of it. But you could be just addicted to the cycle, just addicted to going through the motions because you know at the end of the day it's going to you're going to reach pleasure. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Like, like eventually, going through all this pain and turmoil, it's going to eventually reach some level of pleasure, but then it declines again. So you could be addicted to the cycle, and that's not love. That's not love.
Mm-hmm.
That's trauma bonding. Okay. All right. Now, this is something that I had to look deep within and ask myself years ago. Do you have a fear of abandonment? The Five of Pentacles energy. This card screams like abandonment wounds. Okay, because trauma bonds form when two people are looking at each other's scars and finding some commonality. Like, oh, your mother left you when you were a child, mine did too. Or your dad went to jail, oh, mine did too. Like, it's looking at some, and there's nothing wrong with bonding over that, because you may find that you have that in common, so you know how to care and console and comfort that other person. But if you are strictly bonding over trauma, just over like your scars, you have to ask yourself, are we bonding because there's love there and it's growth, and we have the mental fortitude to see through all of this? Or are we just going to be stuck on bonding through trauma? Because guess what's going to happen? Once one of you heals, where's the bond? Mm-hmm. The bond is broken. Because either they're healing and you're still trying to resonate with those wounds, and they're like, oh, honey, I'm good. Them wounds is gone. Them wounds is healed, okay? And you're trying to find where can we bond, and they've already healed or you've healed. So that's why you can't bond strictly over trauma. It has to be something else.
Yes.
Substantial. It has to be something else substantial.
I had to say this because I know you all saw me laugh as she started talking. So what happened was, okay, so one of my gifts is mediumship. I haven't clarified who's here, but they said, especially if they're not trying to heal, if you bonded over that, say the example that Ashley gave, like that their parents weren't there for them. But what they said was, but if that person is not trying to heal, you better run.
Right.
So, and I was just like, okay, like exactly. They didn't say like, child, you need to run. They said, you better run, like run. Start heading in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. And people need to start having these conversations. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, it may make you feel like a peer mentor type of dynamic, like you're teaching them, but that's okay, because you have to figure out a way to memorialize this connection without it falling by the wayside, if that makes sense. Like you never hold back and never feel like you're doing too much in a relationship, because you don't want to have any regrets to where you feel like, damn, I should have said that. Damn, I should have went with my first instinct. I should have followed my gut. I should have communicated more. If anything, over communicate. Because when you internalize things, it's left to fester. Sorry, my cat's trying to get out. It's left to fester, and then you end up with those words and those emotions and those thoughts, like eating you alive, basically. So that's why it's good to get them out, because I have had similar issues with over sharing and over communicating and feeling like I'm talking too much. I'm a Sagittarius, so I love to talk and I love to learn about things so I can talk about it. And I used to have someone who told me, like, you talk too much, like you like some stuff can fix itself, and that's not true. Like, problems don't fix themselves. You have to have the mental fortitude to be able to communicate and solve the problem. Aries in the house, and
okay,
but you understand, like, that fire is passionate, and sometimes people misinterpret passion for aggression. I'm not being aggressive. I'm just passionate about what I feel. And fire, what is fire? Like, it's hot. Like, it's temperamental. I
get so hot.
Let me let my cat out before he starts squealing. Hold on.
Okay. And I will say, and I'm sure Ashley's going to say that too. again, but when that fire gets going, you can't just put that fire out immediately.
Right.
It's not gonna go. You just can't poof. Oh, we're good now. No, baby. I need to cool
Mm-hmm.
down a bit. You have done some things, and now I gotta recuperate, and then I gotta sit with myself because I need to know: am I allow have I been groomed?
Mm-hmm.
Have I been allowing myself to get into these type of predicaments where I'm now accepting pain in place of love? Like you have all these assessments. That's what I tell people. Like for me, I'm a natural assessor. Like I start asking myself questions, and then I'm like, okay, now how did we get here? Now where did I go wrong? Like what did I do this
Mm-hmm.
time? And it's like you have to do these things. You have to put yourself in check. And if you can't,
Mm-hmm.
get you a Love Anye and a Soraya Misha Beauty, and they will, hey, what you doing?
That's right. That's right. Because you need people to keep you on your square to make sure that you are doing your due diligence
Right,
of
right.
filling your own cup up, that you are reprimanding yourself. Because sometimes we do have to check ourselves. We have to say, listen, are you taking care of yourself? Are you addressing ish that
Exactly.
you need to address? Because I'm telling you, the older you get, or the wiser you get, I'll say, because words are spells. The wiser you get, the less you're gonna start letting ish slide. And if you go into a nursing home, even hospice, if you speak to people that are older and wiser, they're gonna tell you, like, I wish I could have said this. I wish I could have did that. So you don't want to have any like regrets. Like if you feel something, say it. If it's respectful, say it in a respectful way. And don't hold back if you know it needs to be said. Okay? And that's why like you have to ask yourself, um, do you love them or do you just hate the idea of being alone? Because that could possibly mean that you have a fear of abandonment. And a lot of people don't understand, and overstand that fear of abandonment more than likely comes from childhood wounds. That's where it starts. It starts with
Mm-hmm.
the way they were raised. Were they paid enough attention to by a parental figure? Were they paid less attention to by a parental figure? And if they felt abandoned or neglected or mistreated or misunderstood, that's going to transfer over into the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and it's going to play out. And people don't realize that. They think that they can just grow up and grow out of ish that happened to them in childhood. It doesn't work like that. You have to heal that. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at life, looking at relationships, looking at men and women through the lens of your childhood trauma, the lens of your childhood wounds. That's why it is imperative to be conscientious of what you allow in your energy field, and making sure that you're healing, making sure that you are healing those childhood wounds. People don't know how important it is to heal. They think that healing is just, oh, I forgive you for what you did. No, it's honestly healing yourself. Even if you never get that apology from that person, if you never get that, you know
Exactly.
what, I was wrong, what I did was effed up. Even if you never get that conversation with that person, forgiving them regardless of them admitting they were wrong. You forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Whew. So let me get it back on track. Okay? You know, I
Okay.
always get sidetracked. I got my notes here. So I always get sidetracked. Okay. Are you walking on eggshells? This the one. Like, are you walking on
Mm-hmm.
eggshells and filtering what you say around that person? Okay? Are you, you know, uh, making sure you don't rock the boat? Are you making sure you don't talk about certain situations that you know that they don't want to talk about, that's going to escalate into a catastrophic argument? That may be a trauma bond. In a healthy relationship, okay, you have to talk about uncomfortable things. You have to talk about things that you know you don't want to talk about, because that's going to lead to a healthier relationship. Um, Or do they make you feel like one wrong move will bring the entire house crashing? If you are with someone and you feel like if you say the wrong thing, like one wrong eyebrow, will
Excuse
just make
me.
them flip. Cause if you're with someone and they make you feel like one wrong eye roll or side eye will just make them flip the out, you with the wrong person, boo. Mm-hmm. Baby, you might be in a trauma bond, because a healthy relationship, they're not going to make you feel like, oh, you can't talk about this. Oh, we ain't even discussing that. Why are you bringing that up? Like, come on. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be friends first. So whatever I bring to you, you're supposed to understand, overstand, and understand. Okay? You should never be afraid of setting them off. You should never be afraid to feel comfortable around them. You should be feeling like you're walking on eggshells. This is a relationship, not a dictatorship, okay? If you're more focused on not upsetting them than being your true self, that's not love. You're in survival mode, and that's not a relationship. That's not love. That's not mutual bonding, okay? That sounds like prison, okay? That sounds like the penitentiary. It sounds like Sing Sing, okay? It sounds like you up north. That's what it sounds like, okay?
She says Sing Sing.
I'm saying, I don't know if y'all know what Sing Sing is. Yeah, look it up. So you have to sit with yourself and ask, who were you before them? And this is so paramount. Oh my God. Like, what me and Bessie are trying to get you guys to do is we're trying to get you guys to be able to know yourself so good that no one can shake you. No one can rattle you. No one can come and infiltrate who you are to the core. Like, when someone asks you who you are, you should be able to just, on top of your head, I'm like rolling off your tongue. Someone asks me, who are you? I'm Ashley. Some poetry in motion. Some would even say I'm an enigma. Very passionate, vivacious. I'm a wonderful mom, but incredibly discerning. So not much is going to get past me.
Right. Ooh.
Like, these three dots don't move. So if this misses, oh, this is going to see. This is going to see, okay? So you should be able to have, like, verbiage just rolling off of your tongue so that the minute go tries, or they wish they would, or they could, they can't, because you know yourself in and out. And this is what Bestie and I are just trying to get you guys to do. But the first step is healing. Once you heal yourself, you understand your childhood wounds. Nobody can use anything against you. Nobody can use your wounds against you, because you've already healed yourself. You've already healed those wounds, okay? Yeah. So yeah, you have to know who you are before they tell you who you are, before they try to convince you who you are, excuse me. Okay? You notice nothing that I said mentioned anything about my education or how much money I make. These are all things that I have internal that no one can take away from me. No one can take anything I said about myself from me. No one. I'm not in the mood, right?
Okay. Okay. Listen.
I mean, when I say that to so many people, I'm not in the mood. Like, keep it, push it. But, I don't want to come off like I'm rude and I'm, dismissive. But I want to say that, like, I'm not in the mood. Like, please, like, swipe left. Swipe left in real life. So how do you know?
What you said, swerve?
Okay, let's be clear. Let's be clear. How do we know that it's real love? Okay, real love is not perfect. Okay, it's not picture perfect. It's not The Notebook. It's not Love Jones or whatever love, black love movie you're thinking about in your head. But it doesn't leave you anxious, drained, or questioning your worth. All right, true love feels safe. It's a steady flame, not a wildfire that burns you alive. It doesn't burn you to death. So if you're wondering whether your connection is love or a trauma bond, just ask yourself, do they bring you peace, or do they bring you pain disguised as passion? Do they bring you peace, or do they bring you pain disguised as passion? And that'll answer your question right there. Because if they're bringing you pain through passion, then that's a trauma bond. You know, because passion is only temporary. I mean, I love a passionate person. I'm passionate, but it's like, what else you bring to the table? You can't just be passionate. Like, what else? You know, are you righteous? Are you honest? Do you have integrity? What is integrity? Doing the right thing when no one's watching. Don't just have
Yes.
integrity when I'm around.
Yes.
Like, hold it down behind
Mm-hmm.
my back too, because that makes you righteous. Don't just have integrity in front of my face. Like, be a stand up person behind my back too. All right. So yeah. So I didn't tell you all these things, guys, to call you out. I tell you because I've been there. And the truth is, once you recognize the cycles, you have a choice. You can break it. So if this hit home to you, drop a bat in the comments. If there's even a bat emoji, if this hit home for you,
There is.
drop a bat or a ball in the comments, and we gonna shoot it right over to you, because I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
So I was trying to find a pen, but I found a magazine, and so it was something that you said when you were talking about building up your confidence, right? And when I was looking in my bag for a pen, I found a GQ magazine, because what I was going to say is that you have to build up your confidence just like as if you were a model, right? You know, it's and it's not just that outside appearance, right? It's that internal appearance. And I was going to lead that with this statement: spirit is your first best friend, right? And so since spirit is your first best friend, spirit already knows what you're going to have to deal with in your walk in this lifetime. Spirit is already going to drop some people to kind of give you nuggets, for your life to use to say, hey, you're beautiful. That's why I love this song. Although I am not a female, I love Brown Skin Girl, because I said, that is just one. I like the original, the remakes. That's just one of my favorite songs. And I said because it highlights, it's saying like, brown skin girl, you're beautiful. And when you look at the spectrum of different brown skinned women, they're always trying to be plighted against each other. And I never like that. This goes into a whole nother topic of colorism, but we see it so much in societies in every country that it's just amazing to me how now, and I don't know when the switch happened for everybody, but it's like everybody started embracing themselves, when that is what spirit has been trying to get us to do since birth, since the beginning of time. You have to embrace yourself. You have to accept yourself even when nobody else accepts you, because at the end of the day, on this plane, when you can't feel me, I am always there, but I need you to understand that you are okay, that you are enough, that you are beautiful, that you are strong, that you are powerful. This is why they say every year, do your affirmations. And I have affirmations in my home that I say. Last night, I even had to do a prayer, or no, it was this morning. And I was like, I don't know why I have to say it like this, but I had to affirm myself and clear my space. And I said, wow. And afterwards, I felt so enriched. And I said, and there's something to that. And I was saying that also because when you build up that internal confidence, it's like you become that next top model that Tyra gave us, right? And I said a lot of people thought it was like that glitz and glam, but I saw how there were some ladies on the show that were very unique. And Tyra saw that and she wanted to bring that out of people. And it made everybody get into that mode of being unique, right? And I will even so much to say this: we didn't start having a lot of selfies until Tyra had that show.
Mhm.
Nobody was really doing selfies unless, like, oh, I want somebody to see my outfit. And you would take a picture of your outfit, you would set the timer and everything. But nobody want, oh, let me make sure I'm finding the light. Let me make sure I got the good angle. Let me
Yep.
make sure they see this high cheekbone, baby. Like
Yep.
nobody was doing that until then. And I said, that is where spirit has been trying to see. I just saw your word, seen it. Try to get us to see about ourselves from the beginning. So there's like nothing that happens. And when you have that level of confidence, when somebody tries to come in and destroy it, no, baby, that is not me. That is you. You're trying to project. And that's not what we're going to do. Because in those trauma bonding relationships, people are so quick to project their things onto you. Like I've had so many people to try to call me a narcissist, and I'm like, me a narcissist. I the one that will literally give you this shirt that I'm wearing right now so that you will have on is a narcissist and will try to manipulate you for what when I know you don't have anything in need. Make it make
Projecting.
sense. Right. And so you have to, when you know yourself, you can determine, okay, no, this person is not seeing me. They don't even fully understand who I am. They're projecting their traumas and their issues onto me because they're trying to feel relevant. They're trying to feel um seen and heard, right? But that's that little child that's screaming and kicking like I'm in pain, but they don't know how to handle it. And I did, hold on, let me see. Yes, and that's a good thing. I'm just gonna say, is it Desus? Let me know. Let us know how you pronounce correctly pronounce the name. But yes, you definitely have to take your energy back. You have to hold your power
Yep.
back because if you don't, you will sit with what that person has said, and it will go over and over and over and over and over in your head to the point where now you start to self doubt. um okay, thank you. And you start to have self-doubt and you start questioning yourself, and then when that person sees that you are starting to question yourself, and you're like, well, maybe you're right, and maybe I shouldn't have said that, and maybe I need to go do some work, and maybe I need to go heal myself. And then I'm like, now I got them. Now I'm gonna always hold something over their head, and the next thing you
Yep.
know, you're on the same level as them and you're trying to figure out how in the world did I get here. And it's because they drop these little seeds, and seeds get watered either by that person or by yourself at this point, and then they start to grow. So I just wanted to say that before I got into the cards, because the cards was, I was just sitting here going like this with the cards, but every time you said something, the cards would be flipping out. So I got to remember which topic. But I know your first point, right before when you got to that first point, um, the two cards that came out was fake apology, and I showed you all because I wanted y'all to see that at that time, of how they would do. Some people would give you a fake apology because they already know the tea. They already know they're in the wrong. They already know that you caught them. And so they're going to give you a fake apology so that they can smooth it over with you and get back into your good graces, and that you will forgive them because they more than likely have already done something before and you easily forgave them. So they try to recreate that scenario each and every time so that you will always forgive them. That's manipulation.
Mhm. Yep.
And then the other thing is, so I'm a the cards came out in reverse, but the last card should go first. And you see what I mean. So the next card that came out was knowing they fucked up. They when it and look, this is when Ashley was talking about the fire. And you see the fire behind them, that means they did some. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my ring light. There we go. They know that they did something so wrong that it is caused an explosion between in your relationship. It's like that big no. And what they do, tantric sex. Now all of a sudden they want to woo you with the whatever you like, right? Now they want to make sure they was like, I'm gonna make sure I dress up the room, the house, in the way that you like. I'm gonna wear that perfume or that cologne that you like. Um, I'm gonna. I may even do this. Right. This is what this person is doing. They may even go out, and you're looking at them like, where the hell are they going? And they looking good and everything because they know that you're gonna follow them, and so they will go out, right? And they was like, and you may have been like, no, I'm gonna stay in today. Next thing you know, your mind is like, oh no, I got to go out because now I need to see where he going, or now I need to see where she going because that, like, why all of a sudden she trying to get dressed now? She know we fighting, he know we fighting, and now you going out, and then this person is like, oh, I see that you went. That's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to follow me. And then they act like they don't see you. And then when they say that, I'm like, oh, you're here. Oh, okay. Well, hey, how you doing? And you know, you looking at them like, okay, well, what's up? You know, true story. And two people up here know what happened. That happened to me, but I was already out. It wasn't like no fight. It was I was done with the situation. But the person followed me, but said that they were no longer going to go to the same places, right? Right, head faking, exactly. Um, and so, but the person was spying on me to see if I was interacting with other people. But I said, it you can't see if I'm interacting with other people and try to call me out because you have already established into the atmosphere and to me that there's nothing between us. So why are you treating it like there's something between us? And even when that situation had succeeded, before that, the fights. Remember the fights that Ashley talked about earlier. The fights were surrounding this person's insecurities. Let me put it that way. So if someone did approach me, this person got insecure and wanted to fight about it. And I'm like, the person said, hi, I like what you're wearing. Why are we fighting about an outfit conversation? It never made sense. But I had to realize that that was that person's insecurities. But that person in their head made it seem like, oh, you out here flirting with everybody. And so you may have even found yourself in that same situation. And again, how do they try to fix the problem? Sex. They'll do something sexual. So and even with that first scenario, so say you get home. Now the person want to touch you in those spots that they know your sweet spots. That's what we call them, right? Now they want to kiss you. Now they want to take your hand and put it down in a place that we can't see, right? Now they want to do all these things because they're like, let's stop fighting. I didn't really mean those things. I know you didn't mean those things either. Come here, let me. And now they're trying to woo you physically. So and to that point, it's important to know what your love language is, but you don't have to let everybody know on the jump. Let them figure it out. Let them figure it out.
And also, Bessie, let me interject. Be mindful of how much you tell your new partner about your past partner, because whatever you tell your new partner, whatever you let slide about what you let slide in your previous relationship, they may let that shit slide. Like they may try to be ice skating on you because you let all of that stuff slide in your past relationship.
Yeah.
So be mindful. If anything, you tell your new partner, listen, my past partner treated me like a queen, like a king. So they know that they have big shoes to fill. Because if you telling them that, you got done dirty and
Yes, it will.
this, that, and the third, then they're gonna know that you're gonna tolerate that. Okay? Listen, we're elevating, okay? Baby steps, but it's levels to this itch, okay? We're
Mm-hmm.
not telling people everything. We're not spilling the tea, okay? We're taking sips. Go ahead, Bestie.
Right. And that kind of goes in with the next card that came out, because which is setting the record straight, because sometimes you do have to set the record straight again. And this came out during the time um when Ashley was talking about knowing who you are, because when you know who you are, sometimes let's bring it back. I am sixth degree, 7-time nominated, 7 books on coming out on Amazon and da 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 da. You spit your resume, right? Hold up,
Yeah.
player. Hold up, hold up. We're not about to have this conversation, and you think that you're gonna, no, no, no. Bring your tone down. Get that, pull that finger back before it's not there. Like you, like
Before you pull back a nub.
before you pull
Okay.
back a nub, like you have to put your foot down on some things, and depending on their reaction, because let's say that y'all did trauma bond and you understand that this person has I'm not even going to say anger issue, but they get defensive quickly, right? Because they have been hurt. And so you understand where you're coming from. But if they get angry with you putting your foot down, if they have something slight to say about you putting your foot down, just go the other way. Because if
Mm-hmm.
that person is healing or trying to attempt to heal, right, then they will be like, all right, they
They'll
may
respect
that
your boundaries.
right, they
If
they
somebody
may
feels they have no problem with your boundaries because they
exactly.
have boundaries themselves, so they understand why you have boundaries. So you can easily weed out the weak, the fake, the phony, the
Exactly.
fugazi by just simply putting your boundaries up. And I promise you that bad fruit will fall off of that tree. You don't even have to kick them to the curb. All you got to do is put your boundaries up because
Mm-hmm.
people with boundaries will respect yours. Period.
Exactly. Right. Because if the person is, like I said, truly attempting to heal and trying to heal, they will accept it and apologize and keep it moving. But if that person has a hard time trying to apologize, you're not trying to heal. You're trying to hold on to
Right.
that pain, and I can't help you heal. That is something that you have to do. You have to heal for yourself. I can't heal for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's an individual journey.
Right. And then the next thing, so the cards that came out was a situation's about to explode, shit's about to pop off, up in flames. And so when I got this card, I instantly, this is that person that's trying to hide something, because oftentimes when you're in a trauma bond, they always have to hide something. They're sneaking something. And if you get that sneaky energy from them, now, okay, now let's face it, this is the week of Valentine's Day. They may be sneaking around your gift, okay? So don't go off saying Ashley and Beta told me to whop this so and so up across their head because they sneaking around the house. Wait to wait to see what's going. So it might be something good, right? Somebody might be trying to propose to you and you don't whop the person. Now he rethinking or she rethinking like that. Do I really want this person? Like, so hold on.
Okay.
Think about what's happening around that time. But if it truly is that energy of like, this person seemed like they're always lying, they're always doing something, like I'm always catching them, and they always just like, oh, like, oh, and then they quit. You know how people, when they trying to hide stuff, they quickly, okay, well, I'm gonna put this up real quick, I won't do nothing. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you know that energy.
Yeah.
um
Snake.
so it's about to pop off because something's about to be revealed, because maybe this person is in a third have you in a third party situation and they keeping you a secret, and maybe the other
Mm-hmm.
person is coming towards you, right? Because another thing about a trauma bond is that At least I was about to say at least in my line of work. That's not my line of work. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. um, at least from the situations that I've been in, all of them have been or attempted to put me in a third party situation. And when I called them out on it, it's like, oh no, no, that's not what I was trying to do. That's not what I was trying to do. And it's like, I know this what you do. This thing works. You may not can see it, but trust me, it's there, right? I, it's there and it works. I know you're lying to me and I'm not putting up with the lies. And I walked away from every situation. Like, no, like I'm not staying in this and you're not going to keep me here. And guess what happens? They get angry because you have now called them out. How did this person know? And again, here's that fire. And as Disa said earlier, you can't just put this fire out with water. You got to use some other stuff. And so now when this person realizes, oh, I can't pull a fast one over them. Now they're trying to they're angry with you for calling them out on the wrong that they did to you. And it's like
now they're in panic mode.
Right. Right. Uh, listen, I've told several people all you need to do is get you what oh goodness. I was about to say a dark night of the soul. What is it? A shadow workbook. And it will help you even out your stuff. But I'm not the one. I can't help you. And so let's part ways now before we take this any further. So the last card that came out was recording. It says announcement, expression, revealing. And so out of all of these, what I'm really getting is that if the person can be real with you, they will tell you some things about themselves that they're working on, right? They will tell you, they will come back and apologize. And it's like, because all of this is like that, okay, let me stop playing. And that may be in their head, them accepting the fact like there's some things that I need to change about myself and I don't want to lose this person. And that's good, right? But here's the thing. Do not wait for this person. You move on with your life. And if the relationship is meant for you, when that person comes back to you, if that person comes back to you, they're going to come back completely healed. There's no half stepping and healing when spirit is putting two people together. Spirit wants two whole people to come together. And it's like spirit is not going to, and that's that thing when people always were talking about equally yoked and things like that. It was not just talking about just monetary things and physical things. No, baby. If you are a life speaker and this person is a deaf speaker, what do you think your household is going to look like? It's going to always be divided. It's going to always you're going to have your up moments, and then you're going to have like 6 months of down, 2 months of up, 6 months of down, because that negative energy cannot be in that same positive space. Now I'm trying to remember the scripture because my pastor said something on Sunday, and I had to sit with it. And there's a scripture in the Bible, and I'm going to look it up, but it talks about how when the light came, darkness was confused about its existence because it couldn't comprehend the light, and it couldn't consume the light, but the light consumed the darkness. And I said, you know what? I have read that before, but it went right over my head. But when he said it, I said, wow. And that's what happens when you are healed. You shine so bright. And that's what attracted that person to you in the first place. And so now when you're talking to each other and you realize that y'all have these trauma bonds together, that person may not realize that you're like halfway through your healing session, right? Or you have ended healing from that trauma, and you recognize like, oh, okay, we do have that in common, and we can talk about some things, right? But when that person realized, oh, you went through it too, oh, now this person can handle my bullshit. Oh, baby, when I have my moment, I know you gonna be there. And they think they got a prize, not realizing that your light is gonna call and pull them towards healing. And if that person is not ready to heal, they will fight you with everything they got just to not heal.
Mm-hmm. And that's their demons because, like, Dissa just said, the light will always
Mm-hmm.
take over the darkness. Like the light always supersedes the darkness because what the light does, it illuminates the darkness. Always. Always. So whatever was trying to be hidden or swept underneath the rug or phased out, the light is always going to illuminate that. That's why you never need to worry. Am I going to find out what so and so is hiding from me? Like, will so and so's indiscretions and secrets be revealed? Yes. As above, so below. What
Exactly.
happens in the dark always is brought to the light when it's supposed to be exposed. Not when you're ready, but when it's supposed to be exposed. It draws the demons out. Yes. Yes, it does. It will draw the demons out.
I got the scripture.
That's why demons don't like light. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the scripture is the book of John, first chapter, verse 4 and 5. Well, I'm gonna read that because it's a very short scripture. So John 1
Okay.
reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." But in another one, it says the darkness could not comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that
Yeah.
is why there's this constant tug of war when it comes to these type of relationships, because one of you is operating in light and the other is operating in darkness,
Mm-hmm.
although it's a trauma bond. And just think about it. Okay, and I'm using a biblical reference because I was raised in the church. And I know that sometimes we can better understand that when we have that similar, right? That bonding. We're bonding from our knowledge of the Bible. Here we go. So in our depictions of what Christianity talks about, heaven and hell, angels and demons, who are really fallen angels, all had the same experience of watching the earth form. They all have that same bonding experience of watching man become man, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh yes, and I hold on, I do have to say that Dee says yes, because I love that saying, "Who Jah
I
bless,
love
no man
saying that.
can curse." I love that.
Love
The
that.
first time I heard
Yeah.
that, I said, "Oh baby, yes."
I
Um,
love that.
yes, I love that. But with that, we have to recognize that all the angels, whether they are the fallen angels or the regular or the angels of light, they all had a chance to see what is on the earth. They all get a chance to see what our life carries, our life walks. That's why we have to be intentional about the things that we do, because even when we fall, they both sides have a record of our doings. And either if we go towards the light will help us get over it and replace it with something new, or the dark will continue to put things in our path to make that thing grow. And so
Mm-hmm.
if when we try not to heal, we stay in that dark space, which means that any and everything else can attach itself to us. And so when we get to the light side and we have overcome that thing, That's why we walk
Mhm.
victoriously on this earth and in everything that's attached to us, because we're telling that dark side, you cannot attach yourself to me. You can't touch my blessings. You can't touch my home. You can't touch my children. You can't touch my spouse. You can't touch my heart space, because I have not allowed it. I'm only allowing the light in. And so that, yes, I saw you just said the inner work. You have to pay attention and do our own inner work. Exactly. And when we
Mhm.
know what triggers us, that's when we take that to the light. We don't just let it fester. And a lot of people allow these things to fester within it. And I'm using that loosely, fester within us or within themselves, to the point where they seem like they're always going through something negative. They're always having
Mhm.
bad days. They're always, it's like they can't breathe. Now, if you're going through a test that spirit is putting you through, don't confuse that with what I'm saying, because that is there to help you grow and to help strengthen you, to let you know that you can overcome any darkness that comes your way.
Mhm. That's right. Do we have any questions in the chat before we get to ask me? I just want to make sure because I have not been taking a moment to pause and ask people if they have any questions, because B said a lot. He has been very instrumental in reading us for filth with the cards tonight. So I just want to make sure that nobody has any questions before we get to Ask B, which is the time of night where we open up the floor for our collective to ask B
Oh,
anything and
wow.
everything under the sun. What did somebody say?
You've answered all my questions. See?
Oh wow. And we've never had anyone say that.
Nope.
Wow. No one has ever said that on Ask B. Um so I'm just scrolling up to the comments because I know I missed a lot of them
And they were
prior to
good.
me being able to hold on. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, so we'll use this time if anyone that's on in our collective family, if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns that they would like to ask B, now is your time. We do this every Tuesday, every night. We open up the floor for anyone to ask questions. My
Yes.
candle and get my rest. Well, thank you so much
Yes.
for
Thank
tuning in
you.
to our Cards and Conversation. And just so you know, before you go, we do this every Tuesday at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. So we hope to see you back next week where we have a brand new topic. So thank you for the time that you did spend with us. We greatly appreciate you being very interactive
Yes, we really
with
do.
our podcast. Ashe, Ashe. Yes, we'll see
Yes.
you next Tuesday. Yes, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So yeah, but that's interesting. While you guys are pondering or thinking of your question to ask me, I just have to say that self emotional intelligence supersedes being intelligent, because when you are emotionally intelligent, you
Hmm.
understand your emotions. And half the battle of healing is understanding how to channel your emotions and understanding that every conversation is not an argument. Every feeling, doesn't have to be, suppressed. Because I
Exactly.
think we as humans think that once we suppress things, oh, it's not going to come out. If I keep pushing it down, I'll just keep pushing it down. It'll be good. Guess what? You are um, damn, what's the word I'm looking for? You're basically cooking a recipe for disaster. if you are suppressing trauma, anger, rage,
Exactly.
anxiety, you are cooking a recipe for disaster. So it is so imperative for you to get that out, get it off your chest, and say it with your chest, respectfully. Say it
Yes.
with your chest, because you don't want to become someone who is a walking, ticking time bomb. You don't want to be a time bomb. Get it off your chest and get it out. All right. So if we don't have anyone that wants to ask any questions, I guess we will conclude tonight's episode. And thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate our regulars. Y'all know who y'all are.
Yes.
Y'all already know what it is. Like we appreciate love and we value you for always holding it down for us every Tuesday. And again, just so you know, we do this every Tuesday, same time, same place, Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. We thank you guys for joining us for tonight's episode, and we will see you guys back next week for another invigorating episode of Cards and Conversations. Stay blessed. Who y'all bless?
No man can curse. Yes.
We'll see you guys next week. Stay blessed.
Peace. Peace.
Next week. Stay blessed.
Gangbanging is a lot of witchcraft.
Oh. All right. So you all have a good evening. And definitely leave me some comments if you come across this. It will ping me. Thank you. Have a good night.